like I can see that happening with AI becoming so good, and government. I don't want to talk about Doge because Doge apparently is doing a lot of stuff, but government, generally speaking, it's kind of lazy. They tend to push things as far as they can, so they don't have to work. Why wouldn't they just rely all of their stuff, all their responsibilities into AI? And I think this is not the best scenario. Like it becomes Skynet basically from Terminator. Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen the movie Terminator, but I mean,
Yeah.
um, before working in AI, I was thinking along the same lines
Mm-hmm.
that okay, why would you hand over the decision making to an AI that takes care of the decision making?
Yeah.
When you understand how an AI works, that it's essentially just a model that gets fed with a lot of data, and it is trained based on the patterns of the data that it is fed with, and then it generates a new output, or forms a diagnosis, for example, in the medical field. I think you soon realize that, okay, AIs are better at humans at some tasks already. And I mean, why wouldn't you do it then? I mean, people don't wash their clothes anymore by hand because a washing machine can do it better. So if an AI can form a diagnosis regarding cancer better than a human being, why wouldn't you hand it over? And like the field AI, or the term AI at least, has been around for a very, very long time. And AIs that are better at detecting certain forms of cancer have been around for like 10 years. But it has only been until now that AI is really widely known in the population
Yeah.
because of OpenAI and ChatGPT. So, but when you think of the combination where it's leading people into, so you let's take for example the medical diagnosis. So even if doctor if there is an AI that is better at forming a diagnosis than a doctor, you would have an even better result if both form a diagnosis collectively, right?
Yeah.
So I think that makes sense long term, and that way we also never run into the ethical issue of handing everything over to the AI. So it's still the human being reviewing it essentially.
Oh man, you have such a positive view on the thing. I love it. Because I'm a little bit more skeptical. If you look at DeepSeek, for example, it just came out, right? DeepSeek from China. If you ask DeepSeek what was the question again? Is Taiwan a country? They're gonna say no. Taiwan is part of China. So, uh, I kind of feel like those AIs, they are completely biased depending on the people who are developing them. If you take OpenAI, of course, it's one of the most famous ones. Now they're tying to the government because the US just announced they're gonna have this 400 billion, 500 billion dollars investment into AI into the country, and part of this money gonna go to OpenAI.
Mhm.
So OpenAI will make sure to comply to whatever the government says. So the government says, look, whenever someone looks up who causes 9/11 on ChatGPT, you need to say it was a terrorist. Like you cannot even bring up the possible out like a possibility that it was an inside job. Who knows? We don't know. But you don't. You should. I can imagine like the government saying you should not even bring that up.
Yeah, I mean, ChatGPT might be a decent model, but I mean, anyone that knows about the restrictions in China regarding the internet, you cannot even access Facebook, you cannot even use WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And if certain standard mediums are blocked by the Chinese government already, I mean, anyone can think for themselves how representative of a truth something like DeepSeek is, even though the model might be highly sophisticated. But the point is that there was a lot of hype behind them about the model, and it used to be seen better as ChatGPT. And what struck people particularly was the fact that DeepSeek said they built it on only $6 million of NVIDIA chips, and OpenAI and Elon with Grok AI, they have built it on way more chips, NVIDIA chips. So they invested way more money into it. But right now, there's still an ongoing debate if DeepSeek imported more NVIDIA chips than they admitted. Because the guy who built DeepSeek, he runs a hedge fund, and they are into quantitative trading. So quantitative trading is about analyzing trading data on the stock market. And it could be the case that the guy before building DeepSeek had already bought billions of dollars worth NVIDIA chips and already trained the model. So
Really?
no one knows exactly, and it is quite unlikely that he only built it on $6 million worth of NVIDIA chips. At least this is what a lot of AI people in the US nowadays believe, because, I mean, thinking about it logically, of course, the model itself matters, but also the chip power matters, right? It's both. And I mean, I'm very deep into AI, but I'm not a computer scientist expert. But I really like the analogy of comparing it with a racing car, right? I mean, you have the engine and you have the driver, right? And I think it is highly unlikely that you build a DeepSeek model based on $6 million worth of chips if other competitors are spending way more. I mean, how good does the model have to be? And by the way, the model is open source, so anyone can see the structure of DeepSeek, and it just doesn't make sense. And there probably has to be more to it, because if the model is open source, why is it so good? And why was it built on only allegedly $6 million worth of NVIDIA chips? So maybe it was even built on more. And now that there's been a lot of buzz and hype around DeepSeek, now there are some critical reviews about it, that they track the movement of people that are typing in something in the search query and stuff. So I mean, the future we'll see, but it wouldn't be the first time that one technological innovation is highly hyped, and then people at some point later down the road realize there are some dangers or untruth hidden behind its development.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it looks too good to be true. You know who's winning with all of this? NVIDIA. NVIDIA are the real winners, man. They're making so much money. What was the CEO from NVIDIA again? I don't know his name.
Jensen Huang, yeah.
Vince Kwan?
No, Jensen.
Jen-
G-S-E-N, and then Huang.
Let's see.
Yes.
Jensen